Right, my friends, when you're having a drink tonight or at the weekend, I want you to raise a glass to the membership of the National Trust, which have shown us how to defeat wokeism. They've shown us the route to actually getting those out at the top, the upper echelons of these organisations, these organs of the state, these bastions, supposedly, of protecting our cultural inheritance, and they've shown us that being brave and saying no actually gets you somewhere. And if you want to know just how pervasive wackery and wokery is within British life, look no further than the National Trust. One of the two main bastions or guardians of protecting our heritage, caring for stately homes, gardens, parks, and even things like former palaces and other buildings and effigies that are all part of this country's historical tapestry. The core mission at the heart of the National Trust, supposedly, is the idea for it to support the conservation of our history. And that's a completely laudable aim, right? I'm sure you all agree with that, any supporter of this show, and one that I think we should all welcome. But as I say, the organisation has gone properly woke, and that's caused members of the National Trust to actually rebel against the club that they pay into. The leader, a man named Tim Parker, not to be mistaken with the president, which is Prince Charles, have said they're going to resign. Now, I can understand the justifiable frustration of the paying membership. It's like, come on, mate, you had one job, right? To protect Britain's heritage. And yet, what you've done during your time at the helm of the trust is to pander to wackery and wokery. Now, Restore Trust, a group that was only founded last month, now has 10,000 supporters. And that was founded to restore the National Trust to its actual mission, instead of this pathetically and depressingly politicised organisation it's become today. And folks, we're seeing this across the piece, right? So many organisations have gone this way. But I would just make a case that conserving our history, Britain's rich inheritance, is pretty damn important. Last September, they published a report into the links between the properties in its care and slavery, including, by the way, which annoyed many members, I've no doubt, and in a nod, of course, to those who were defacing the statue of our greatest wartime leader, Sir Winston Churchill, in Parliament Square. They looked into his house, Chartwell, the home of the man himself. The guardians of that home, the National Trust, looked into it and the links it has to slavery. It's hiring climate change lobbyists, right? It's forcing volunteers to undergo diversity training on return after lockdown. Now, last year, the government abandoned its own bias testing in the civil service after it concluded that there's no evidence that the training changes behaviour in the long term or improves workplace equality. The trust also signed kids up, I kid you not, to lecture staff on colonialism. It looked for any way it could find, any chance it could get to be offended, and ignored its membership as its chairman waxed lyrical about the Black Lives Matter movement, which, let's not forget, folks, engaged in wanton acts of criminality last summer. And this is no joke, as I said. The Trust has one mission, just one. It gets taxpayer cash for this. It needs to go back to basics, strip away the woke nonsense and do its damn job. Stop telling us which manicured garden of a former stately home belonging to some landed gentry at some point in his life said a racist word. As if a manicured lawn can be guilty of bigotry or something, some guff like that. Get on with what your members are paying you to do and what the public actually wants you to do, which many of us visit year in, year out, spending our hard-earned dosh to see these places that have been left in your gift for you to protect. We just want you to be getting on with your job. Enough of this nonsense. Enough of pandering to those who do not wish our nation well. Enough of pandering to those who would rather you tear down than build and protect. Do your job. It really does speak volumes, I think, to the pervasive nature of much of this wokery and wackery which has infected many of our most precious institutions. The National Trust is one of the most important of those in our country. I think that the membership that have revolted against the chair of the organisation and forced change, I hope they actually manage to get change that actually strips the National Trust back to basics so it does its damn job. I'll see you next time. Reasoned relies upon grassroots donations from people like yourself that want us to continue producing our high quality, free thinking content. So please do consider clicking the link and donating, no matter how big, no matter how small, because it really does ensure that we can keep on keeping on.